Greetings, everyone. It's your one and goddess here, Rebel Jones. We're live here on Facebook with the beautiful Hunter Blair Ambrose. She is not just a musician. She's a touring, performing artist from Los Angeles, Chicago. She got the lyrics that make you jump out of your seat. And of course, I'm your one and only goddess, Rebel Jones, and I make you jump out of your seat just by saying nice things to you. But Hunter Blair Ambrose is going to give you that music. We're logging on to Instagram very shortly. So make sure you tune in, and we'll go ahead, Miss Hunter Blair Ambrose, give us life, because you're giving us space. I mean, even still, with all the drama that's going on in the world, you still giving us space, and I hope we're so ready to hear you right now on Facebook Live as we're getting ready to tune in to Instagram. So as we get that ready, tell us, are you ready to perform right now?
It's been actually the last time I was on stage was with you guys at the Vinyl. I think it was like February 12th for the New York Fashion Week show. And I have been dying to perform in any capacity since then, because it's been a long 3 months, or well, now 4 months at this point for all of us. So no, I'm super excited.
Yes. Ooh, well, I mean, even though we're not able to be on the stage, we have this virtual stage, and we want to be able to bless this virtual stage. So you're about to put on a good performance. Again, we're about to sign on to Instagram. Having a little bit of trouble, but we're here on Facebook. So for all my Facebook viewers that's watching us right now, we're Pink NYC, and we're all right now. I'm in North Carolina. I'm usually in New York. You used to see me in New York, but as you can see, myself and Blair is we're traveling. We're moving spirits. We cannot stay placed in one spot. So let's definitely get that going. While we're setting up an Instagram yourself in, let's go ahead and get Facebook Live for those of you that are watching right now. A performance until we can get the Instagram open. Is that okay with you, Angels?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's do it.
Hang on 1 second. I actually missed what you said. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get the Instagram up, but nothing's showing up on the profile.
No worries.
Do you want to have get started?
Yes. Tell me, what do you enjoy most about touring?
What do I enjoy most about touring? Well, traveling has always been a huge passion of mine. So being able to see different places and kind of gauge what the music scene is like in different cities is always, super fun and a pleasure for me to do. I am based on the East Coast, so I kind of have a certain idea for the way things are in New York and Boston, because that's mainly where I've spent most of my time in my life. But, last fall I got to go to Phoenix, Arizona, and I got to perform in Los Angeles around in a few clubs as well. And the West Coast is super fun too. So yeah, I just love being able to see all kinds of different places and meet fun people.
What are the craziest things that you've been through in terms of having to perform? Because I've been to Arizona with my fiance, and the conversation with the promoter was one thing. When we actually showed up for the performance, this person was in front of us, and this person wasn't signed up, and then you had to go through another person to get on stage. You know, what are some of the challenges that you faced, and how did you get through it?
So I actually flew in from New York to Phoenix, Arizona. I performed at Phoenix Fashion Week last fall, and the people that I was performing, I was part of one of the designers' shows, and I kind of opened the whole set. And I remember I thought I was performing. I think I flew in on a Friday, and I thought I was performing the second day of the Fashion Week event, and I thought I was performing Saturday night. And then I got the phone call that I'm due for sound check, and that I was going on stage like 3 hours from then. And so I really had to I was just in bed in my hotel enjoying my room service, and I had no idea that I was supposed to be on stage that night. So I was just taking my damn time. And then they were like, hey, where are you? And so I just had to it was a great lesson for me to kind of, be on the fly and get in the zone like that, and just, be on your toes, because anything can kind of happen.
I'm telling you, currently.
Yeah.
All right, so when you're writing a song, right, what is your mindset? Do you have to create some sort of ritualistic, like candles, or like something else? What is your process in your writing?
Well, I don't have, this is the thing, I don't really have a set process. It's not like I sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm about to write a song. I gotta have this music on. I gotta be listening to this playlist today. I gotta see this person, talk to this person. I found that in my life, I could be just on the subway or walking around or just doing my thing. And I can honestly get inspiration for songwriting anywhere at any time. So I just always make sure I have my phone on me, or a notebook and a pen or something like that, so I can just write down whatever comes to mind. Because I'm a lyricist first and foremost, and I'm
say that. Let them know.
Yeah. And I just come up with different rhyme schemes on the fly, and whatever I'm thinking about or whatever I'm going through in life, I'll just think of a way to kind of put that into artistic words. And it happens out of nowhere. I can find inspiration, in anything. And that's, a great part about living in a city like New York, is that you're constantly surrounded by people's art and just really interesting people all the time. And I think that also helps. If you keep yourself in a creative and vibrant environment, that's half the battle, in my opinion.
So what is the other side of that, when you might find yourself having writer's block? And just to chime you in real quick, I'm about to go live on Instagram as well. But I want to give you the proper introduction, but so let's wrap this question up. But tell me the other side of that. Do you have times when you reach writer's block, and how do you deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, I've experienced it a lot, honestly. It kind of depends on how long I've had writer's block. Because if it's just for one day, and I'm man, I really can't finish this idea, I'll allow myself to kind of go back to the drawing board, as it were, and kind of allow myself to give myself some time. But I don't know. I think the best thing I can say about that is just not to force it. I don't think anything that great comes out of a mindset of okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to do it now. I don't know. That's never helped me. So just being patient with myself, because I know I got it, and I know
you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Well, that being said, let's go ahead and jump over to our Instagram family. For all those that are watching our Facebook family, hi everyone, I'm Rebel Jones. I'm coming out of NC, that's North Carolina, Greensboro to be exact. Myself and Hunter, like I said, we're moving bodies, okay? We got to stay in the motion at all times. So that's why you're going to see us. You're not just going to see her on the virtual stage. You're going to see her on the real stage coming soon. But while we have her, let's show her some love. That's right. Go ahead and hit those like buttons. Share. Tell your family, tell your friends. Okay. Tell the supporters of Fine Giant and Pink NYC, as well as Hunter Blair, to come watch us on Instagram, because we're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm hitting that button. Listen, I'm feeling good. I don't know about anybody else. It's a lot to be grateful for, and I'm here. We're getting it done. Shout out to Find Your ID NYC team, because if it wasn't for them, I don't know where we'd be. Okay, I don't know. What's up, Live In Magazine? Thank you for joining in tonight. We have the dopest, I don't know, dopest artist. She is a resident performer. Her name is Hunter Blair Ambrose. Some of you may know her, and if some of you that don't know her, you want to be tuned into this live because it's about to go up into the cloud. We're live on Facebook as well as Instagram. I'm your host, Rebel Jones. And if you're interested in dope lyrics and beautifully mixed songs, Hunter Blair is going to give you that tonight. Live performances and dope questions from your one and only goddess. So Blair, if you're on Instagram and you're watching right now, tell your followers to come through. Send me that request so we can get it chopping up. All right.
Okay, girl. I'm trying to join you on Instagram now.
Oh, y'all, it's Sunday. I'm in the South. Well, northern of the South. I'm in the South. I had to get close to my roots. Hey, join in, Hunter Blair. I'm a little anticipation. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Y'all watching? Y'all watching? Y'all watching? Y'all sharing? Let's get in. Hunter Blair Ambrose coming to the virtual stage. Pink NYC interview. Find your ID NYC. Get lit. Get right. We have live performances. I get excited because music is just moves me. Did we get through? Thank you everyone for joining. Stay tuned. Live performance. So can you send it again, please, Blair? It seems as though Instagram has
I don't think we got through.
Early today.
I requested though.
What'd you say, love? I didn't hear you. Let's try it again. I see it. Here we go. You guys, bear with me. All right. If y'all can bear with Tiana Taylor, y'all can bear with good old Rebel here. All right. I am. Will you please send it over again? That's me trying to sing. Can you do it again? I'm an aspiring wannabe singer. I see you, love. I see you. Yes, that's right. I'm glad that you guys are tuned in. You must be ready for this live performance, virtual stage, virtual interview. Miss Ambrose, send that request. So if many of you don't know, she is a lyricist. She is a performing artist. She has performed with us. She's also a touring artist, and she's toured to Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, you name it. She's been there. And we were just talking on Facebook about performing as a woman in these venues and coming across challenges, writer's block. And we got more questions coming soon. As soon as we get this request and we have her on our virtual stage, you're going to get live music. Okay, good questions. If you guys have questions, don't just be a peeping Tom. All right, don't be a creep. Don't be a creep. Don't be a creep. Ask us the questions. Let us know what's on your mind. Because Find Your ID NYC is a tribe, and we're here to support all artists of all kinds. And we want to know what's on your mind. We want to engage with you. We want to get to know you. Ooh, she's back into the chat room. Are you ready, though? Are you ready? Is you ready? Yeah, see, I got the shoulder out. What's up? We got the. That's right, girl. You gotta smile. She's giving us like, listen. It's all good. It's all good. How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm good. How about you guys?
All that matters. That's all that matters. Okay. The Facebook family, Instagram family. This is June. This is Hunter Blair Ambrose, and we're in June. Okay. To all my viewers, happy Juneteenth. Okay. It's necessary that we mention this. Find Your ID NYC. We support lives. We support love. And we support moving forward and out of the past, which is why we're focusing on art today. It's why we're doing what we're doing and making sure that we support the women that bring the art, because art is already there. June, I'm not gonna hold you up anymore, Ambrose. Go ahead, drop your music. Let's get it crack-lacking.
Okay, guys. So I am very fortunate to have 2 songs I'm going to be doing. And I actually dropped my EP called Scorpio Rising in April. And the lead single from that project is called November. And I'm really excited to perform it for you guys tonight. So here we go. Thanks for rocking with me all this time.
belong to every city, don't belong to every man. Keeping it to myself, but you're on my mind again. I'm not the kind of man, babe, when you're under my skin. One night with you in my head, then we could not forget. Yeah, you've been haunting me, but this ain't really me. Baby, can't you see what you give, you get? And I know you got regrets, and if you didn't know them, I'm the one you'll remember. Before you should know, something you should know. Can't say that I was wrong, but baby, it's been so long. I'm not the kind of man, babe, when you're under my skin. When I be in my hand, and we cannot forget. Yeah, you can haunting me, but this ain't really me. Baby, can't you see what you give, you get? And I know you got regrets, and if you didn't know them, I'm the one you'll baby, it's just me. Baby, can't you see what you give, you get? And I know you got regrets, and every year in November, I'm the one you'll remember.
Thank you. The song is called November. And actually, hold on. I just want to say, if you can see my little fur baby in the background, that's my dog. That's my dog back there. Say hi, Ripley. Hi. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that song's called November. And that served as the lead single off of my EP that dropped in April. I wrote that song about 1.5 years ago. And it actually features some writing credits from Miss Lady Gaga. So that's very exciting. Fucking crazy. I mean, like, I've loved her since, God, 2008, when I was like 13. Yeah, no, I mean, her whole team heard that song. And when I had to approach her label and like her publishing about it, because I actually interpolated a melody from her song called Alejandro for the chorus. So there was a bunch, if that sounded familiar, that's why. And so once I heard that, that it got approved and all the copyright was all good to go, I got some really exciting feedback about it. And that song means a lot to me. So that was crazy. Well, my name's Hunter. Yeah. Yeah. That's just my name. Yeah, there was nothing to figure out. Thank you. Thanks. So originally I was just gonna go by my first name, and then I figured out that a ton of artists would go by Hunter, like the singular name, and I didn't want any confusion from that. So, and I've been blessed with a pretty unique name, and it just stuck. And I wanted to, I don't know. I think I didn't keep my original name as my artist name to pay homage to like all versions of myself, you know, past and present. And you know, I wouldn't be the person I am without everything that's happened since the jump. So good and bad. So
good and bad. Okay. So when it comes to you being able to, and we have a little echoing, so let's change that real quick.
Okay. No problem.
So when it comes to you performing live, and as you can see, there's always going to be something that needs to be worked on, whether it's a microphone or a sound. What are some of the things that you do to prep yourself before getting on stage?
So for me, show prep happens from the second I wake up that day. I just really like to do everything I can to get myself in the zone. So I warm up, I put on my playlist, I get, you know, mentally and physically prepared, exercise, and make sure I know my shit, because once I'm on stage, that's it. You know, I gotta give it 100% every single time. So I take live performances, especially when I'm like physically on stage, super seriously. I mean, it's everything to me. That's probably the most enjoyable part of my job. I love to perform. Yeah.
On the beat, or
we've done it that way. We've done it that way for a couple of my tracks. Sometimes I'll have the majority of the lyrics and the music written pre-session, and then it's just a matter of me sitting down with my producer to come up with like building the track from the ground up. And I always have some element of say, and I've co-produced a few of the tracks too. So I always like to have a hand in what's going on. But yeah, I mean, it just depends on which song in particular it is. We've done it both ways. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think I owe a lot of that to my manager, honestly, to keep me informed on all the legal and business aspects of what's going on, because he definitely keeps me in the loop, and we're a good team. But I mean, to put it simply, I just really like to have a hand in what's going on at all times, and I went to music school, so I learned a little bit about the business aspects of. Yeah, I didn't graduate. But I tried.
Some people notice that they can sing and they want to limit it to that. Right? They want to just like, okay, I know I can sing, I know I can write, I'll just go in the studio, versus actually learning what tones can do, what's like just learning your voice and learning what to do with it is a big deal. And so you're educated, and that's what's up. I want to know, and I think and please, anybody that's watching, thank you so much for watching. I'm super grateful. Find your 18 Pink Talks here, Rebel Jones and Hunter Blair Ambrose. We want to know from Ambrose, as a female, what do you think are the differences in how you're treated in this industry so far?
I definitely think that when you're a vocalist primarily, and when you're female, as you know, in particular, I think that sometimes some people have a hard time taking you seriously as a musician and can doubt, your level of serious musicianship in the process. I don't know why that is. I I think, and just from being in music school, I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston, and loved my time there. But I could just tell, there's something to be said for just, you step into a studio and sometimes like, if you introduce yourself, they'll be like, oh, I'm a singer, and if you don't play enough instruments, or if you're not a producer yourself, or you like whatever it can be, I think there's a lot of discrimination that can happen just from being a female in the industry. People don't take you seriously enough. You got to bust your ass like at least twice as hard than the guys to be taken seriously. I definitely think that's true.
What are some of the techniques you would recommend to us females who are artists in going into this business? Like, is it eye contact when we are in there? Is it no eye contact? Do we show skin when we're going to a meeting? Do we not show skin? Like, what are some of the strategies that you had to learn when facing this male dominant industry?
Well, I think first and foremost, having self-respect and knowing your worth in any context or any situation is so important. For me personally, I've never really had a problem with like dressing the way I wanted to, because like I know myself, and I also, I'm not one of those people that it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be taken seriously, so let me just wear like a turtleneck and pants and like not say anything. No, like I'm a very confident person, and I think that there's strength in that. And like I don't try to censor myself in any way. I just like to go in there, and if anything, I just like to prove that like, hey, I'm here. I take what I do very seriously, and I know that I'm talented, and I want to work with talented, passionate people at the end of the day. So like, let's all come together and show our skills as individuals to like make some shit happen. So. Energy of the space every time I would show up for a show. Everyone's just super awesome and like wants to be there, just as bad as anybody else. And like everyone looks great, and everyone just has like really welcoming energy and super talented. And, talent is definitely at the forefront of what you guys do. And I've met some awesome people from doing those shows and had some great times. And what's better than that? Ooh, okay. So I've been singing since I was about 7 years old. And I'm a classically trained singer. So when I was first starting out, I wasn't sure what genre I was going to go into. I definitely knew that I was a pop singer, because when I was like being classically trained, all of my teachers were like, you sing too pop, you sing too pop. So from the get-go, finding like my own artistic identity was super important for me. And then as I got older, meaning like into my teenage years, me discovering R&B music was probably the most important thing that's happened to me musically, because that's just like the foundation of everything that I do. So like, I look up to so many, and I would consider myself to be like a pop R&B singer, but in terms of like my evolution of what I do now, I have so many musical influences, but I would say the most important ones to what I do are Gaga, definitely. I would say The Weeknd, Ariana Grande. Once I discovered those artists, that's when I started to kind of like take the parts of what I liked about all of those people and put it together and then put my own spin on it. And that's when everything started to get into motion for me. Because once I discovered music by them, and I'm also like a huge Drake fan too, so there was that as well. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about you. I'm questioning your whole palette.
I don't know if you guys can see that.
So before we move on with the question, thank you all for joining in thus far. Thank you for staying tuned in. That's a big deal. We care about you. We're thankful for you. I hope that you're doing well out there in the world. And I hope that you're planning taking this moment here with Find Your ID NYC interview special Pink Talks with your host Rebel Jones and the beautiful Hunter Blair Ambrose to take this as therapy and take some notes. And if you're an artist, you might benefit from some of the things that we're going to be talking about. And speaking of benefiting, how have you benefited from COVID-19? I mean, we got to talk about it. As artists, some of us are using this time to really dive deep into what we want to do and what our purpose is. How about you?
Benefited from this crisis. I think it's definitely a blessing to have been given this much free time, because I don't want to give too much away. I do have an album coming out in November, and I have written a lot of really exciting stuff. I had a lot of time to reflect on my own life experiences and things that have happened this year. It's been really okay. So I don't know if this is going to be a question later on in the live stream, but I've had this off and on relationship with the person that inspired the majority of this music, and I think that our ever evolving friendship had a lot to do with how I kind of took this time to reflect on myself in that situation during quarantine, and also gave me time to figure out where I wanted to go with the album that I'm putting out, because I'm like, okay, the world has changed. My life has changed. I've been through a lot. We've all been through a lot. Let me take this and then apply what I know now to all of my, experiences from the past. And it affected, the material and the inspiration behind some of the songs that are on this album for sure. I think I had a very different idea of what I was going to write about when I first started writing it. But because of this whole crisis and the things that have happened in my own life, it's going to be a heavy record. It's a heavy time. But, music's helped all of us through it.
Not everyone is in a certain space of I'm going to go out and do riots, or I'm going to go and support the walk. Some people are healers and they want to be home healing those people who come back from those riots. And so I think everyone can play a part. We actually have a question from a viewer. Hi, Imani Nicole. What creative projects did you work on during quarantine?
Season, I developed a lot of ideas and themes for what I was going to write about for that album. I mean, I've had plenty of time to develop a lot of new concepts for the album and new sounds, and listen to new music, and get inspired and discover some really cool artists, and just keep my creative juices flowing through this time, because that's all we had. That's all we had. All we had was time. No, I'm not.
I thought you were a Scorpio.
I get this question all the time. Do you want me to explain the
title?
So,
wait, I want to because I'm an astrology enthusiast. I love astrology. But yes, tell me, how did Scorpio rising come? I thought you were Scorpio. I was psyched.
Everybody asks me that, and it's like, no, it's about my ex. Okay, so the reason I titled it that was because so the person that inspired a majority of these two projects, I met him on his birthday, which was in November. He's the Scorpio, and the night we met was on his birthday. So a lot of the record is inspired by that whole time in my life. And so Scorpio season / Scorpio rising, that's where that came to be. So he's a Scorpio, not me. I'm a Taurus.
Hey, what's up, Taurus sister?
May 20th.
May 20. Oh, you're a cos Taurus. You got that Gemini flowing, that air flowing. That's what's up. I'm an April Taurus. Okay. Okay, but stubborn nonetheless. I mean, you know, when I make up my mind, and I'm slow to make up my mind, but once I make up my mind, that's about it. That's about it. Speaking of your upcoming album, which I'm so glad you mentioned, what do you want your audience to walk away with? I mean, because I know this is you mention it as though it's a personal project for you during this quarantine time, and just being able to express and let these emotions flow. But are there some songs that you think your audience might walk away with and actually not actually benefit from it, but be healed from it or be motivated to do something with?
Without giving too much away about what I've written about and kind of what the direction I decided to go creatively with the album, a big thing that I'm passionate about is mental health. And I definitely, even on the EP that came out a couple months ago that I dropped, there were a couple songs that touched on, you know, the things that I've been through and in regards to that, and how my mental health plays into how I have carried out my relationships and things I've been scared of and self-doubt. And, you know, being a performer, like, we're all really hard on ourselves as it is. And I think just bringing awareness and kind of breaking the taboo of some things that a lot of us can go through in life and push through and become better people in the process. That's definitely something that I've touched on in these songs. And, you know, as I said before, I think now more than ever, because of the nature of what's going on, it's really important, you know, to be honest about this stuff, because these are tough times. I mean, I'm 25. I don't really recall a time that I've been alive that things have been this heavy, but it's important. And I think that another thing that we can all take from it, paused on my Instagram. Hold on one second. I'll just keep talking in case the connection comes back. But something that I think is important to kind of reiterate is that no matter what, we all grow as people through the hard things that we go through in life. And, you know, just like anything else, we're all going to get through this, you know? And we grow through, you know, the hard things that we go through in life. So. Hold on one second. I don't know if you can hear me on here.
So you have a question from someone on Instagram, John Wayne, and we also have one coming up. So there's a lot of Q&A from people here. So let's go ahead and jump into this Instagram. Yes. So on Facebook, she's coming back, everyone. So on Facebook, do you believe the artist, hi Ty Gardner, do you believe that artists should use their platforms to talk about social issues? My answer is yes. What do you think? Do you believe the artists should use their platforms to talk about social issues? What do you? All right, there we go. Can you hear me? Oh, your app crashed. No worries, no worries. See if we can get you back on.
I just joined again.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it must have canceled out. Can you try it again?
Yep.
What's up? She's gonna come back on. I'm Rebel Jones. So someone asked a question. Let's answer it. Do you believe that artists should use their platforms to talk about social issues? What do you think about that?
So what, can you hear me now? Okay. I'm just, while I wait for the request to come in. Yeah, so do I believe that artists should use their platforms to talk about social issues? Absolutely. I'm dealing with some delay from my phone, so let me just turn that down for a second while you get the request. But to answer your question, yeah, absolutely. Especially in the time that we're living now. I think it's really important to be aware, and I think it's really important to use your platform to keep your followers and your fans aware as well. And, if you're not standing for anything, you're standing for nothing. And that's just kind of unacceptable at this point in time, in my opinion. And there's a lot to, be passionate about right now.
I do agree. I do believe that it's important for all of us to use the platforms that are given, whether you're a socialite or not, to speak about solutions, right? Not just talk about the problem that is in front of us, but to discuss solutions. Some of us are leaders. Some of us are leaders in our own craft. And I do believe that artists not just talk about it, right? Not just share your opinion, but also share your solution, your ideas about what we can do to move forward as a collective. I'm still trying to get you back here on Instagram. Hi, everyone. Let's try that request again. So I'm going to add you, and it's waiting. But I do agree. If you're tuning in right now on the Facebook, this is a great time for you all, as well as on Instagram, to share your questions. We are looking forward to responding back to you. What music do you look up to? Gabby asks on Facebook. That's a good question. What music? You mentioned earlier Lady Gaga, right? Mm-hmm. You also mentioned that you like Ariana Grande and that you listen to R&B. What are some R&B artists that you looked into?
Well, my whole life, I've looked up to Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, the Fugees. Who else did I listen to a lot growing up? Oh my God, Prince. I tried to teach myself guitar because of him, failed miserably. And I would say those are the big ones. But I mean, I listen to a lot of Al Green too, and some Motown stuff. And that's always from the jump. Like when I was little, that was my favorite kind of music.
I want to get a little personal with you. Is that all right? We get a little personal?
Absolutely.
Okay. And again, Facebook and Instagram watchers, please feel free to ask questions. You want to engage before we exit out of this interview. And Miss Hunter Blair Ambrose is going to give us a live performance, so make sure you stay tuned as well. My next question to you is, if you could build the world the way you like it as a musician, what does that look like to you? Your own world.
It's an interesting question. I think if there was something that I could change now, I would love to be able to level the playing field. I'm having a lot of echo in my headphones. I would just really like to level the playing field of major label artists and some independent artists as well. There are so many incredible independent artists who are out here doing their thing. And, nowadays it's kind of harder to get everyone's talent showcased. I mean, it's easier in the sense of social media for sure, but I mean, there's so much that goes into actually having a shot at having like a major platform, and there's a lot of competition out there. So I mean, in an ideal world, I would love to level the playing field a little bit between, you know, the label scene and the independent scene. On a personal level, I think that there's a lot that a lot of cities across the country can do to maintain their local music scenes and to really keep the creativity alive as much as they can. And I hate to see a lot of really iconic music venues that support a lot of really great local artists go from COVID, and yeah, it breaks my heart. So yeah.
I believe that artists are going to be the architectures of the world that we truly want to live in. That place where it's a place of tranquility, joy, being able to share ideas, being able to share opinions without violence happening, being able to be violent without holding grudges, right? We're human and we need to be able to be open to greatness. And in order for that to happen, we must first look towards the leaders for solutions and the artists for creating that solution and being a part of that as well. I don't want to bore anybody with any more questions. What about you? You want to get to this music? Let's listen to this music. That's what we're here for. Virtual stage. We want the music, Ambrose. Give us the music.
So we just finished this track up. It's actually a cover, and it's called I Get Lonely. It was originally done by TLC, and it was a song originally called Fan Mail, and then Drake actually did his own thing with it and called it I Get Lonely, and then I did a cover of that. And this is gonna be probably the last song on the album, so this is the closer. So get excited. Okay. Hopefully, let me just make sure my volume's turned all the way up for you guys. This has been so awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to talk with us and to share your music with us. We're super grateful.
Waiting on you for so long, so many days since January. I'm still sitting here alone. We should have this already. Said I got an email today. Kind of that you forgot about me, but I wanna hit you back to say just thank you. I get lonely, baby. I can really get to know you. Take my time and show you. Don't tell anybody where we go. And I get lonely, baby. Don't the place we're all face to face, just you and me, with no words, just thank you. I get lonely too. Ready for us to get it on. Ain't got more to say. Hope it ain't like that for long. I'll be friends if you let me. Don't wanna come on strong. Still many people wanna get me, but you know I do what I gotta do, just like you. I get lonely, baby. I can get to know you. Take the time and show you. Don't tell anybody where we go. And I get lonely, take me to another place where I'll be face to face. Just you and me, with no rules, just like you. I just like you. I get I can really get to know you. Take my time to show you. Don't tell anybody what we do. And I can only take me to another place where I'll be face to face. With no reason, just like you. I can only just like
Woo! Yeah, come on a virtual stage. How do you feel? Good? Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure. So we can find the album anywhere on all platforms, right? Tidal, Spotify, iTunes, the whole shebang. Yes. Scorpio Rising.
Album version, which is called Scorpio Season, is going to come out this November. So thank you guys for tuning in and listening.
And I'm your host, Rebel Jones, and we're having Pink Talks, and we just ended Pink Talks. We also have some more questions, so before we exit out, we got a few more minutes. See, Gardner asked a question: when did you realize that singing, creating music was a passion? She answered this earlier, but since you tuned in, she's gonna answer it again. You don't mind, right?
When did I mean, gosh, I've loved to sing since I was a little girl. So, I mean, discovering it was a passion, probably like 4 or 5 years old. And I was like, I mean, I was singing like Britney Spears and NSYNC and all kinds of that stuff at the time. But I've been super passionate about music since I can remember. I knew it was going to be my career path by high school for sure.
Mm. And now she's a businesswoman and she's killing it right now. She's killing it. She's killing it. With that being said, and you're not trying, girl, you're doing it. You better affirm it, okay? You're doing it. You're traveling, you're touring, you're killing it. We hope to see you back on the Pink NYC stage. Not virtual, hopefully, but and if we have to, hopefully virtually. Yes. Because I can use a daiquiri. Okay. And some live interaction. Tuning in, Pink NYC Talks here on Find Your ID NYC. I'm your host, Rebel Jones. And through it all, us women, we continue to thrive, not survive. We're doing so much more than just that. Hunter, you go and kill it, girl. You be safe out there in the streets.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Peace. We'll talk to you soon. For tuning in, you can find this on IG, on our IG page, on our feed, Baby Brain. And we look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Peace. That was intense.